Hi, my name's Shelby. I'm just going to lead you through a brief, like 15-minute yoga flow. We'll get a bit of movement, some standing postures, just to apply wherever you're at. I'll offer some different kramas or stages of poses. So if you're doing something that doesn't quite feel good, feel free to modify, and I'll try to give you some ideas, but ultimately just listen to your body and don't do anything stupid or anything that doesn't feel safe. Feel free to drop into child's pose anytime and just focus on your breath. I'm at my in-laws' house down the south coast of Australia, and hopefully you can hear the beautiful birds. We'll start. So as you get settled in, just checking, hopefully you have a yoga mat or towel or a nice blanket you can lay on. 2 blocks can be nice during the class. We'll just start with some seated breath awareness. So I'm going to choose to sit on my heels, and I'd place a block in between, usually that width. It can be nice to prop up on, or if you have a nice solid pillow or even a tiny seat, something to sit on. If your knees are bugging you, you might go a bit higher, or you can sit in easy cross-legged position. I'll show you that too. Definitely whenever I start my class, I always have my hips elevated, just to help me sit more comfortably. So you can let your hands rest on your knees or on your lap, and start to close the eyes down, taking away one of the senses, your sight, so you can focus more on your physical space. So noticing what's tight, any areas of tension. Taking a deep breath in, let it go through your mouth with a sigh. 2 more like that. Feeling your chest and belly expand. Exhale, let it go. 1 more round of breath. And letting it go. Now, if you're able to sustain, we'll try to breathe in through the nose and also exhale through the nose. So this is the breath we usually apply to any yoga class I teach, Ujjayi breath or the ocean breath. So it's a bit like Darth Vader fogging up a mirror. You just want to hear like an ocean sound as you draw the breath in and out. You can always, of course, exhale through the mouth if that feels better. Or just try it out 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Now on the inhale, I want you to squeeze your shoulders up to your ears. Holding that breath, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, let them come down. 2 more. Inhale, draw the shoulders up. Nice little stretch movement. Exhale, draw them down. Last one going this direction. Up, inhale, drawing them back on the no breath. Exhale, the shoulders go down. I'll show you from the other side. We'll go in the opposite direction. So as you inhale, draw the shoulders back and together. Draw them up. And exhale, forward and down. 2 more. Draw them back. And up. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades back, chest forward. Drawing them up, forward, and back down. All right, then just 1 cat-cow. Inhale, open the chest. So opening the heart. Exhale, round the spine. Lengthen up. You might switch the cross of your legs or come into the cross-legged position as I am. You can take the block away if you'd like. I'll stay with the block. We'll start with a simple twist. So take your left hand over to your right knee. So I'm looking out at the paddock here. Your right hand might go to your right hip, or you might hook it into the opposite hip crease. So my left hip, rolling the chest open, lift up from the crown of your head, and draw the shoulder blades close together. 1 breath in to lengthen. On the exhale, you might find you can rotate further. And then inhale to unwind, switching sides. Feel free to shake it out. right hand to left knee. Left hand might start on the left hip, or it might touch the ground behind you. Just make sure you have a nice long spine, and when you're exhaling, drawing the belly into spine. So just getting that movement, so you're supporting the spine. Last breath in. Exhale, maybe rotate further. And inhale, come back through center. Remove the block. We'll come into tabletop. So tabletop, so shoulders are stacked over the wrists, hips are over the knees. Ooh, there's some mozzies out here, so it won't last long. And for cow, you dip the belly and lift the gaze. So you naturally get extension of the spine, tilt the tailbone up, you can tuck the toes under. Exhale for cat, draw the belly in. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, cat pose, like a scared cat. That's where the name kind of resonates. Inhale, last round like that. Exhale, round the spine. And then coming back into neutral. So extended table, and if at any time your wrists are sore, you might make fists, okay? So this exercise, you want to try to keep stability in the hips, so one might dip towards the other. I want you to try to keep that nice and still, like I could set a pot of tea on your back. So stably drawing the belly into spine. As we extend our left leg behind us, you can keep the toes down, and then the right hand's fingertips out in front of you. So starting to extend our table, then you might lift the left leg if that's feeling good, and also lift the right leg or right arm up. Okay, you can keep the hands down if you need to, but if you're able, reaching the hands away from the foot, maybe lift the gaze a little bit more, stretching them away from each other. And then exhale, curl in. So knee to elbow, you might even drag the hands towards each other, squeeze into a low ball, drawing the belly in, and then stretching back out, placing the hand down and the knee down. All right, one cat-cow, so inhale, lengthen the spine, extension, exhale, flexion, round the spine. Coming back to neutral, and then extending, so our right toes will drag back, then the left hand will slide forward. You can lift the right leg up, spiral the inner thigh up towards your ceiling or the sky, and then the left arm reaching forward, stretching long and away. Keep the breath going, lift the gaze. And then exhale, curl everything in, so starting to wake up that core. Pressing into the hand, and then stretching everything back out again. Hands come down, knee comes down. Okay, so I'll show you downward dog. You can stay in table if it's too much for your shoulders. So important, you want the fingertips facing forward. Also, your wrist crease is facing forward in line with your mat. So really pressing through the index fingers. You can tuck the toes down, under, and then lift your hips up and back. All right, just as a dog would stretch, you can bend the knees to accommodate. Maybe widen the stance a bit. All right, and pressing your heart towards the tops of your thighs. Bend the knees, tilt the sit bones up. So I'm showing you a really short one. Usually it's from high plank back to down dog. You just keep that length. But you can work with a shorter stance if that's easier. Feel free to tap down anytime you need a rest to come back to your breath. Now looking forward, we'll take our right foot in between the hands. So you can drop to your knees if you need, and use your hand to help bring the foot in between the hands. All right, walking the foot forward a little bit, stretch the left leg back, and then start to walk your hand up to your knees. So just checking alignment, your right knee is over the right ankle, and you're getting a deep hip flexor stretch. So you might start with your hands onto your knees. If you need to keep your hands on the mat, that's fine, or use blocks. And next inhale, taking the arms up if that's okay for you, or you might just have the hands in prayer. Further going into the stretch, lifting your heart up. Big breath in, drawing the belly to spine. And then exhale, half splits. So this is where you can use blocks for support under the hands, or come to your fingertips. Left hip over the left knee. Inhale, lifting the chest, so I've got a flat back. You might come right to the fingertips if you're really tight. And then exhale, folding over the leg. So getting a stretch into your hamstring. You can have a slight bend in the knee, but try to work it straight. Flex your toes back on the right leg. One more breath in. And exhale, let it go. Take the right knee back. Come into child's pose for breath, so knees wide, toes together. Reach the hands forward. And then inhale, come forward into table, lengthen the spine, or cow, excuse me. And then exhale, downward dog. Alternatively, you can stay in table. And then take the left leg forward. So left foot in between the hands. Again, you can use your hand to bring it forward. All right, take a moment to just check in. This leg might have a different story. Bring the hands to the knee, walk on up. So I'm lunging into the left leg, knees over the left ankle. Taking your arms up when you feel ready to increase the depth or the sensation of your stretch. If it's too much on your arms or shoulders, just take your hands to prayer, no worries. Full breath in. Take your exhale. Letting your hands come down. Framing your front foot and then extend the left leg back. Hips, so right hip is over the right knee. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Looking to flex the toes back of the left leg. Finish a breath in and a full breath out. Then shifting forward, take your left knee back. Knees wide, child's pose. So this is like a nice safety pose. You might be kind of sitting more upright, that's okay. If your hips are pretty tight still, then come forward into cow. Reset the feet in line with knees. And exhale, down dog. From down dog, start to walk your feet forward. You can bend your knees. Feet in between the hands. All right. And just position your feet for standing. Bring your hands to your thigh or to your shins or even the thighs, looking for a flat back. So you might even look in the mirror and just check it's nice and flat. I think it's nice to have blocks to place your hands on, so if you do, use them. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Then press through the feet. Curl up to standing, so keep your chin tucked. Rolling up the spine. And then drawing the shoulders up and back. Lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands in front of your heart, so in prayer. You might close down the eyes again and just connect to your breath. That equal breathing or ujjayi breath, the ocean breath. See if you can hear the sound of your own breath. This is very calming for the mind, hearing your own breath. Next inhale, take the arms up. Catch your left wrist, so mirror, and then lean towards your right. Inhale, back to center. Catch your right wrist and take it up and over to your left. So stretching through the side. Inhale, come back to center. Bring your hands through prayer as you forward fold. You can bend the knees. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, so hands can go to shins. And then step back into a plank on knees or tabletop. So plank on knees, my shoulders over wrist, hips in line with knees. Take a breath in, shift forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower all the way down. Then inhale for cobra. So elbows back, cups of feet press, shoulders drawing back. Exhale, lower the chest. Two more like that. So inhale, cobra. My elbows are squeezing back, helping to lift the chest. My knees are off the mat because I'm pressing the tops of feet in. Exhale, lower down. And then inhale, lifting up again. Look to your right. Back to center. Look to the left. Back to center. Nice hold. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. You can press through plank on knees. Back to downward facing dog. Full breath in, rising up your heels and down dog. Exhale, sink the heels. And then look ahead. Start to step your feet forward. In between the hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. You can bend the knees a lot here. Be generous. Then come back to halfway lift. And we'll step our left foot back. So warrior one. All right, I prefer to take my feet a bit wider here. Otherwise it's heel to heel alignment. But if you want to come off the tightrope, feel free to widen your stance. So it's like a lunge, but my back foot, you'll notice the toes are turned out 45 degrees. So you could be forward and slightly turn it out so that you can position yourself in this lunge. Hands to hips. There's Trev. So front thigh parallel to the mat if you can, otherwise you can back out a little bit. Knee is over the ankle. If you're feeling comfortable, you can take the arms up overhead. Or you can keep the hands in prayer. Just about 2 more breaths here. How long has the video been going? No idea.
7K.
Huh?
7K.
Oh, I better wrap up. And then start to straighten your leg, right, or hands onto your hips. A little hop forward. That's it. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And then step the right leg back, warrior one. Oh, bugged. So squaring your hips are facing forward. And then my back heel is slightly in. The toes are out, about a 45-degree angle. And you want to make sure you're pressing through the knife edge of your right foot. And lunging into that front leg. And when you feel able, take the arms up overhead. So building a bit of strength in that front leg. Think about the right leg supporting you. Arms can be reaching up. Straighten the arms. You can take the arms wider if you need to accommodate for your neck or shoulders. 2 full rounds of breath here. Hands come to your hips and start to get a little momentum to rock forward, coming into standing. Reach the arms up, inhale. Hands come to prayer. Come into chair pose, so sink your hips down. All right, you can widen your stance if you need. Sometimes it's nice to have a block in between the thighs or like a water bottle about that width. So you lower yourself down. Okay, and you keep a nice long spine. All right, you might play with that tucking of the pelvis, so tailbone down, and then flatten it out. So I find it's better to just let it be long. So lengthen so you can bend into your chair pose deeper. Hands to prayer, lifting up the chest, shoulders back. Squeezing the block if you have one. Sinking down into your chair. Take the arms up if you're able to. 3 rounds of breath here. Maybe each exhale you go a little bit deeper. 2 more breaths. Stretching through the fingertips. And then press into the feet to come back up. Nice. Stretch your arms up overhead if you're able. Exhale, forward fold. And then bend your knees so much that the knees come out to the sides of your arms. You come into a little squat like you're going to sweep something off the floor. All right. So my knees come wider than my arms. Hands can reach forward. You might rest on a block. A lot of people that haven't done this pose in a long time, their heels will be up off the mat like that. That's okay. You could chuck a block under it to support. Okay. And you should feel a nice stretch along the spine. So you reach the hands forward. You can bow the head. And then start to lower yourself down into a seat. Oh. All right, might not have been so graceful, that's okay. And you'll stretch your legs out in front of you. Bend your left knee in. Okay, so a half butterfly. Right leg is straight. Take your right hand to the left knee. Left hand positions behind you. Lifting up the chest. Our final twist for the practice. Slow the breath back down. Breathing, the belly expands. Exhale, the belly can draw in to help you find more height out of the crown of your head. And then start to unwind facing the front. Switch legs, so your right knee will bend. Left leg is straight. Take left hand across to your opposite knee. Right hand behind you. Just a final twist on this side. Pressing into the sit bones to rise out of the crown of the head. Right shoulder drawing back. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, start to come back to face the front. Alright, you might like to lie down on your back a couple breaths or sit in cross-legged position. Bring your awareness back to your body. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.